What is up, YouTube? This is AJayPay here, bringing you my first ever Pokemon Wi-Fi battle, and this is against a guy named Nintyfan from the Smogon Battle Finder. And this is my first ever UU match, so you're gonna see a lot of my inexperience and stupid plays in this. So let's begin, shall we? So I'm gonna lead off with my Mew. He's gonna lead off with a Scolipede. Now I studied some UU before this match began, but Scolipede is not UU, so I don't know what this thing's gonna do. So I'm gonna predict the Megacorn, gonna switch out, go to my very defensive Hitmontop, I'm on top, lower its attack, and take that not effective Megacorn very well. And now basically I'm gonna go ahead and predict him to switch into anything, so I'm gonna go for a Toxic. But he actually goes into Nidoqueen, so it null avoids my Toxic, so that was basically a free switch-in for him. So now I can't do anything to this Nidoqueen, so I'm gonna have to switch out. I'm gonna go into my John Wall, my Deoxys D to take whatever hit this thing's gonna do to me, but it actually goes for Toxic Spikes. And now basically I'm just gonna go ahead and taunt so he doesn't get the second layer. But what he's actually gonna do is gonna go ahead and Dragon Tail me right out into my Kingdra and make me waste my Lumberry. Now I regret putting Lumberry on it. I should have put leftovers on this Kingdra. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go for the super effective Waterfall. Just get as much damage on this Nidoqueen before it Dragon Tails me out, which it does. And now I'm gonna be Dragon Tailed back out into Deoxys D, which I'm fine with because Deoxys D, this one is now useless to me because I forgot to put Stealth Rocks on it and it only has spikes. So now, basically, I don't want to set up any hazards because it's pointless in my opinion, because I don't have the Stealth Rocks. So I'm just going to go ahead and go Seismic Toxic to get more damage on it. But he goes out to this Kabutops. Now, I don't know what this Kabutops is going to do or what it can do because it's not UU. So I don't know what exactly it's going to do. So my thinking process here, it's water. It's probably going to go for a water attack. So I should go to something that will resist it, right? So I'm going to go into my Kingdra, which quad resists it. However, he decides to go for the Stealth Rocks, and now that's just gonna annoy the crap out of me even more with all these hazards on the field. So now I'm thinking, alright, I'm gonna go ahead sub, because he's probably gonna hit me with Water Attack, and I can set up on this thing's face with a Dragon Dance, but I forget it's part Rock too and has Stone Edge. So now basically, I'm thinking my Kingdra is screwed at this point, so I'm just gonna get a Waterfall on it and get as much damage as I possibly can on this Kabutops, but he actually switches right into this Confaguris right here. And now basically this Kingdra is dead to me as there's the mummy effect, but that doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for my strongest move, which is my Outrage, and it's going to do a pretty good chunk to this Confaguris. And this Confaguris now is going to go for the Hex and take me out. Now I know why he wants to poison all my Pokemon, just for this Confaguris to Hex everything, because Hex after all does double the damage to any status inflicted Pokemon. So now I go to my Scarf Raikou, my Ryger here, just to face this thing out because I know this thing has bad special D. Now I'm thinking he's going to go to Nidoqueen here, predicting my Thunderbolt, so I go for Hidden Power Ice, but he actually goes into Umbreon, which I did not expect at all. This is my other bane of existence. This thing takes special attacks for days, so now I'm going to have to switch out. I'm going to go back to my Hitmontop, I'm on top just to get this thing out of here. So I'm going to predict him to think that I'm going to go for a close combat on it after he paybacks me here, so that way I could Rapid Spin. But I think it was pretty obvious that I was going to actually Rapid Spin, which he is actually going to predict right here. And I stupidly go for the Rapid Spin, and he gets another free switch in. And now I'm just shaking my head and face palming right here. So now my Hitmontop can't really do much to this thing. So basically now I'm going to have to switch out. I'm going to go into my Hot Pocket, my Rotom Heat, just to get as much damage as I can on this Confaguris, as I know it can take a Hex since this is a very, very bulky Hot Pocket hit Rotom Heat. So now I'm going to go ahead, predict the switch, and go for a Will-O-Wisp to burn anything. And luckily Umbreon comes in, but I missed. These hacks are not going on my side right now. So I'm going to go ahead, go Plane Split, go for as much HP as I can, since I know for a fact this Rotom Heat's going to be very important to me, and it's a big threat to his team. But he goes for a Yawn, so now I have to switch so that way it doesn't fall asleep. And now I'm just going to go ahead and switch to my Hitmontop and take whatever hit this thing's going to try to do to me again. But this time he goes for a Wish. So now I'm predicting that Wish is going to be for the Confaguris, because he's also going to predict me to go for a Rapid Spin most likely. So now he's going to go ahead and switch to Confaguris. And as I predicted, I'm going to go ahead and Toxic the thing. And now this thing will be easier to take out, or so I think right now, for the very moment. So now I'm gonna go ahead, after all the poison damage is racking up on me, gonna go ahead and go into my Rotom Heat right here, as he is gonna go and for the Hex obviously, and that's actually a critical hit. I wish the hacks were on my side at the moment, but apparently they're not, but I'm fine with it, I guess. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go Pain Split right here, just to get as much health as I can. I gotta keep this Rotom Heat healthy. But now he shows me the rest. Now I'm freaking out here. Now I'm thinking, how the hell am I supposed to take this thing out? What can I possibly do to this thing, just so I can get rid of this thing? So now he's just gonna go ahead and go switch into Umbreon as I go for the overheat just to get as much damage on anything, and that doesn't do a lot at all. And now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get as much residual damage on this Umbreon as possible and cut his attack by going for a Will-O-Wisp. And now I finally hit it, which is great. But now right here, after the Synchronized, which doesn't matter, shows me that he has Heal Bell. Now I'm freaking out here because not only is his Confaguris rate is awake, the Umbreon is not burned. I can't status these things. How the hell am I supposed to take them out? So I'm just gotta try to take advantage of that later somehow. So he goes to the Zapdos here. I know it's offensive because he already has a defensive and special defensive poke. So I go for a Thunderbolt here that's not gonna do that much since my spec attack is down due to the overheat. So I'm gonna go into my Raikou here, take whatever electric attack it's gonna hit me with, but he actually goes for a Volt Switch. So not only does he do a lot of damage to me, he gets Switch Initiative, and he shows that he has Life Orb as well. So now at this point, I know that my Raikou here is gonna die soon if I switch out due to the rocks and poison, so I might as well just stay in and get as much damage as I can on the Scolipede and try to take it out. I almost take it out as he's just gonna go ahead and go for the super effective Earthquake and take me out. So now I get Switch Initiative. I'm gonna go into my Rotom Heat, and I'm just gonna go ahead and Thunderbolt it after it sets up Hilarious Spikes and take this thing out. So now that's another poke down. Rotom Heat is just basically taking all his pokes out. Now he's just gonna go ahead and go for his Kabutops. I don't know what this Kabutop's gonna do, so I'm just gonna stay. He goes for Aqua Jet, and I'm hoping I'm gonna live this, which I do, which basically I know why now because I'm bulky obviously. So now I'm just gonna go for a Thunderbolt and take this Kabutops out. So Rotom Heat right now is doing a lot of work and has taken out all the Pokemon, all of his Pokemon that are fainted so far. Now he goes to the Umbreon. I'm just going to go ahead and Will-O-Wisp so that way I can get some residual damage and lower its attack, and to make him waste a turn on Heal Bell if he ever wants to use it, as he goes for a Wish. And now basically now I have this stupid plan, this very stupid plan of mine. I'm going to go into my Mew right here, the peak stuff, yum yum, and basically I'm going to predict him to go for an attack that I can take. But luckily he goes for a Yawn, so I get a free switch in right here. Now my thinking process here is basically Sword Dance and then Drain Punch this thing in the face. Because in my mind right now I'm thinking this is not a common set at all, so he won't predict it at all. As he goes for a Payback right here, it gets a crit. So basically I'm thinking right here, alright, if I don't get this Drain Punch off this Umbreon and he actually switches to Confaguris instead, I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna hope he doesn't do that, because I don't think he thinks I have Drain Punch. But he actually does go on Confaguris to take the hit, I'm assuming, not predicting my Drain Punch, or maybe predicting my Drain Punch. So basically, I wasted my Mew, and my Mew is dead now. So that was very stupid of me. So I'm gonna go back into my Rotom Heat. Gonna go ahead and go for a Pain Split right here, very obviously, because I need as much health as possible on this Rotom Heat, just to keep it healthy, and because it's a threat to his team. And now here is his Nidoqueen, as I'm assuming he just left it here for Death Fodder pretty much, and I'm going to go for the Overheat on it and take that thing out. So now that's one less, now I can go ahead and Thunderbolt anything I want, because now I don't have to worry about him switching to his Nidoqueen and null and voiding my Thunderbolt. Now he switches into the Zapdos here as he goes for a Roost, and I stupidly stay in apparently and go for a Thunderbolt. And since now he's not flying type at the moment because he's roosting, that's not going to do much. And since I overheated as well, my spec attack is down and won't do anything. Now I'm going to stay in again, predicting the Volt Switch just to take the hit because I don't want my Hitmontop to take it. So now he's just going to go ahead and switch out into his Umbreon again as I go for a Pain Split here to get as much health I can. So at this point I'm going to try to make him waste some turns here with Heal Bell and Wish. So that way I'm just going to stay in here and just whittle and attack him as much as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and try to Thunderbolt him to the point where Burn will take him down to where I can use an Overheat even though my spec attack is down and take him out. And now I believe he's at that point as long as I get max attack on it. but I actually missed. The hacks are not on my side, and now he gets the heal bell off. So not only is he not burned, he gets a wish off. So now I'm gonna have to redo this all over again and try to take this Umbreon out. So now I'm just gonna go for the Willow again, and luckily I hit this time. I hit again, so good for me. Synchronized doesn't matter. As he goes for a yawn, so now he's making me switch out here because I don't want my Rotom Heat to be asleep, because it is the biggest threat to his team at this point. So I am gonna go ahead and go switch out. I'm gonna go into my Hitmontop, which was very obvious, as he is going to predict that and go into his Confaguris after all this Intimidate goes off, and basically wall my Hitmontop for days, for freaking days. And now I am obviously do not want to take a Hex, so I'm gonna go switch back out to my Rotom Heat, because I know I can take a Hex, even a critical hit Hex, since we already saw the critical hit me before. And now I'm just gonna obviously go for the Pain Split here just to get as much health as possible, and his Confaguris is that full health, so it gave me a lot of health. But he actually switched back out to this Umbreon. Now I'm thinking here, alright, now I have full special attack again. I'm just gonna keep on going for Thunderbolts to the point where I can get an Overheat on him and take him out, and make him waste turns with Heal Bell and Wish. But I actually get a crit finally. The hacks are finally on my side, so it makes up for most of the hacks that happened to me so far. So now he's going to switch out to Zapdos. I know the Zapdos can't really do much to me, so he goes for a Heat Wave, so I'm assuming he went for a Heat Wave because he didn't want to go to a Volt Switch. He didn't want to do the Volt Switch to switch into something into my Overheat, which is right here. And now I take the Zapdos out. So Rotom Heat basically doing work, taking out 5 of his pokes. So now he's going to go out to his Confaguris, his final Pokemon, as I'm going to go ahead and switch out to my Hitmontop as Death Fodder. Now quick story right here, I have a cheat sheet with his team preview on it, and pretty much one of the words was top, so I thought he had a Hitmontop left, so I thought he had 2 pokes left, but it's actually Kabutops. So basically the reason why it takes me a long time just to take this Confaguris out is because I'm trying to not use my Overheat to lower my spec attack down just to get ready for this Hitmontop. But as you can see right here, basically it's gonna take me a very long time to take this Confaguris out, because I'm going for Pain Splits, getting as much health as I can, as he goes for a rest right here. And basically this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna speed this part up right about now. And so at this point, I'm going to try to keep my Rotom Heat as healthy as possible and go for Pain Splits while it's asleep. And then once I'm at a decent amount of health, close to full health, I'm just going to Thunderbolt it to the point where it will die. And I will not go for the Overheat, since I want to be ready for the supposed Hitmontop that's supposed to go in. Now, if I went for the Overheat over there, the game would have been over right about now. But, you know, obviously I'm still thinking about that Hitmontop to come in. So I just keep on going for Thunderbolts, and eventually I get it down to the point, and it will be good game right here. So like I said, good game, Nintyfan. Hope we can battle again sometimes. Guys, leave a comment telling me how well I did, telling me what I can work on and stuff. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you'd like. And that's about it. So I'll see you guys later.